It's the Sean Steele Show. It's rivalry week. We got so many games to talk about. Probably the biggest week of the entire year. There's one that we had to separate a little bit. So if you want the full team up north, Ohio State, the game breakdown, of course, go to the channel, look at that video. We'll give a little bit on that right now. So Bryson, how you feeling about that game specifically, and then the games all throughout this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, still, first off, there's not anything better than this weekend. Christmas is a good holiday, Thanksgiving's a great holiday, but give me rivalry week any day of the year. I mean, this is my favorite. And first, we got to start with the game. Obviously, we hit on it on the Sean Steele Show. You can go look at the channel, find it like Steele said. But I got the Buckeyes in this one. Real quick, 27-10. I like what they've done the past couple of weeks, getting the run game going, kind of strengthening their flaws. You can tell they've been preparing for this the game in the long way. Stayins proved to me that he can perform in high-pressure games. He did it against Texas. Tate, Smith, I see them playing. And Underwood, if up north is going to try and dirty it up, muddy it up, and that's how they're going to win. Try and get us out, Ohio State out playing their game, but I think we're going to be ready for it. And I see a flawless performance coming out of the Buckeyes.
I'm hoping. Last year, Ohio State, obviously the better team, going against, I believe, a 6-5 team up north, still find a way to lose. So that just shows you no matter how good either of these teams are at any certain time, anything can happen in one of these games. So Ohio State, they're going to be going into Ann Arbor. It's going to be Julian Sain's first time there. It's going to be Bryce Underwood's first time playing against Ohio State. So I'm curious to see how these quarterbacks do in such a new situation. Coach Day and Moore, they're going to be having a battle throughout this entire week. They're having that battle right now. But I know Coach Day, he's always struggled with kind of how to prepare for this game. Do I ramp my team up and maybe they're a little tight on Saturday, or do I kind of loosen them up and say, hey, you go out there, you play your own game of football, you're going to win. I'm curious how he's going to approach that. I'm definitely going to ask all the players afterwards kind of how he approached it, but it's going to be a hell of a game. Ohio State, if they can do what they've been doing all year, especially on defense, stop the run, eliminate explosives, and then the offense just play smart, use your weapons, I see no reason for them having to lose this game. So,
no, we're on the same page there. Okay, let's jump to Friday. Friday's when things start really get going, and we're going to start with the Egg Bowl. I think it's the Egg Bowl, right? Ole Miss, Mississippi State. That's what they call
yes,
it down
sir.
there.
Egg Bowl, yes, sir.
Okay, I was hesitant for some reason, but obviously the biggest headline. First off, Ole Miss is opening up as 7-point favorites. It's at Mississippi State, and the headline here is kind of, we saw with the College Football Playoff Committee that they dropped Ole Miss down because they're worried about the distractions with Lane Kiffin, and ultimately, if he leaves, is he going to leave before the playoff run? What's that going to look like? So we're starting to see that distraction actually impact this Ole Miss team. So what are your thoughts with this game?
We've heard Trinidad Shambliss talk about it a little bit, but for the most part, it's kind of a mystery what this team is thinking right now mentally with everything going on with Lane Kiffin. And it sucks because it's an off-field thing that doesn't truly have anything to do with on-the-field implications. So this can be a great test for them. You saw they dropped a few spots because they thought that the Lane Kiffin thing was going to distract them. So this is an opportunity for them to go out, have a convincing win against a pretty solid Mississippi State team away, and show the committee like, hey, our eyes are on the prize. We want to win a national championship. I don't care what you say if you think that we're distracted because of our coach. We've got a good football team. We're going to go out there and compete and win by a large margin. So it's an opportunity, I think, for him to get back into that 5-6 spot and possibly just get a better matchup leading up to that first week during the playoffs.
I agree. But you know what? I got Mississippi State in this, man.
You think Starkville's going to come alive, man, huh?
It's not even going to matter. I think Starkville's going to be rocking. I think those bells are going to be shaking. They're 5-6. They played a lot of people tight. They can easily be, 8-3 or 7-4, whatever it is. But I think Mississippi State's a tough place to play. Georgia went in there and beat the dog crap out of them. But Georgia's on another level right now, in my opinion. I really have a gut feeling that you are going to see that distraction catch up with them. It didn't catch up. It hasn't caught up with them yet, which is, I thought it might, and it surprised me that it hasn't. They've done a good job of blocking out and just focusing on themselves. But It's going to go two ways. They either blow them out, or if it's close, give me Mississippi State. If it's a close game, give me Mississippi State. But otherwise, it's a blowout by the Rebels. Steele?
Initially, I would say this is a game where maybe they get caught with their pants down, but almost everyone sees that their pants are down. They see that their dick's just hanging out there. So at this point, you just let it hang.
Yeah.
You don't give a shit. I think
Let it
Haynes is
hang.
going to go out there. He's heard all this stuff about, oh, is he gonna leave or whatever? How's he gonna be if Lane Kiffin goes? Like, I think he's gonna go out there and just play his style of ball, which this entire year has been flawless so far. Kawan
Yeah.
Lacey, he's been so sensational on the ground.
He's really good.
The defense, I think they're going to make plays like they did in all their big games this year. I can see where you say Mississippi State pulls this one off just because of all the outside shit, but I think it's almost brought this team together in some sort of
Yeah,
aspect.
it does seem
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, and I mean, who knows what Lane's telling them behind closed doors, but
Yeah.
I know it's just at least as players are concerned, they're like, okay, this is such a huge opportunity we have. We're almost locked for the playoffs. We got one game left, and then if we win this, we're going basically. So if we just lock in, then we have a chance to do something special that's never really happened at Ole Miss. Except I
Yeah.
think they shared a title like back in the 50s or 60s or something. So
Right.
as players, you got to come together.
I do think Lane has been doing a hell of a job, especially handling this situation. I mean, we talked about it. At the beginning of the year, I didn't like him. I mean, you knew that. But as the time's going on, I've seen more and more stuff about him. He's really earned my respect. So I can see, it does seem like it has brought them closer together and kind of motivated them to go out there and really show what they got. So I can see the blowout happening. But if it's close and there are some fractures in the culture from all this, I can see Mississippi State pulling it out. Okay, now let's head to your home state. This was one of the best games of all time last year. I forget, it was like 7, 8 overtimes, whatever it was. But we got the Bulldogs against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. And I think I'll start this one off. I think Georgia is going to beat the living shit out of Georgia Tech. I'm talking 42-10, 42-13. First off, Georgia Tech's defense has been abysmal all year long. They've costed their quarterback the Heisman. They've costed their team the college football playoff shot. I really, really think that Georgia and the way Georgia's going and how Kirby Smart is in that game last year, he's not going to mess around. He's going to want to see domination out of his team, and I just really see Georgia getting after the Yellow Jackets this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, clean old-fashioned hate, that's what it's called. Started back all the way in 1893. Just going to throw a little historical fun facts at people while we're here.
Man, you've been a book of history, man.
Dude, I try to understand rivalries because they're so big, but it's just it's just an absolute battle in the Peach State. It's one of those things where Georgia, throughout the entire year, they've been ramping up the last month. And then Georgia Tech, the exact opposite end of the spectrum, they have been declining the past few months, losing games they should not lose. And it sucks because we talked about a few months back how this could be the year where Georgia Tech finally pulls it off and has a big win against Georgia and then gets to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe they were looking ahead at this game. Maybe they were looking ahead at the ACC and playoff spots, but they just haven't played the kind of ball that you want to see out of a team that right now still has a chance, I believe, in the ACC. So
100%.
Georgia, they're going to crush them. Haynes King, he's going to have to do everything on his own. Stockton and the Bulldogs are going to dismantle that Yellow Jacket defense. It's not even going to be close. And it's going to be sad because Haynes King, probably a top 5 player in our eyes that we've talked about all year.
100%.
You know he's going to pour his heart and soul into this, but ultimately it's going to be for naught because Georgia is going to kill them.
Yeah. Now, real quick, Steele, you do say somebody's at Georgia Tech, and they say that like how we treat up north, they treat Georgia the same way. They're doing season workouts and time.
Yeah. One of my buddy over at FAU, he played there a couple years, and he was saying, of course, he didn't know what it was like for Ohio State, but I was like kind of telling him about it. He said maybe it's not up to that level, but it's one of those things where like we circle that game every single year, and throughout winter workouts, throughout summer workouts, we're talking about it damn near every single day. So they respect the rivalry.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have the talent to really compete with Georgia right now.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the Bulldogs stomping them. Now this brings us to the next game. And besides Ohio State and up north, the game, and besides my boys USC, who we'll get into in a little bit, this is the one I'm looking most forward to see because this is just I love the whole idea of this. I was so into it last year when it came back up. But you talk about Texas football. I mean, Texas football is as big as it gets. I think of Friday Night Lights, the TV show. I just love Texas football. I'm a Texas football guy. And I think one of the best recent matchups, and it was in history, but they've taken a break, is the Texas Longhorns against the Texas A&M Aggies. I think that's going to be such a good matchup. And it's at Texas. And listen, this is probably the biggest test that A&M has faced in terms of talent and stuff like that. How do you see this going, Steele?
It's interesting whenever you look at Texas A&M's schedule. Of course, people say, "Oh, SEC schedule. They've had a bunch of good games. They've played nothing but bottom tier SEC teams." So
Right.
this Texas team, it's going to be one of the better teams they've played all year. Texas, of course, has not been very consistent in their play. You see Arch get rattled whenever he gets pressured. The defense, for the most part, usually performs at a high level. But Texas A&M, they've showed instances of bleeding. You saw against South Carolina. I mean, the first half they sucked, but then the second half they come out in complete flow state and they're killing it on all cylinders. So, what Marcel Reed are we going to see to start that game?
Yeah.
Are they? Is he going to give Texas an opportunity to stay in it and then hopefully get a win at the end of the game? And then for Texas, how are they going to protect Arch Manning? You've got Cassius Howell on the edge for Texas A&M. Are they going to give him enough time to sit back there, go through his progressions like he needs to, and deliver solid balls? Because whenever he gets pressured, he becomes a different player. And then are
Yeah.
they going to get the run game going? Are they going to utilize Wingo? There's a lot of variables that go into this. I'm curious how it's going to play out, but I would personally go for Texas A&M just because besides one half of football and maybe the Arkansas game, they've shown to have been the most consistent team to compared to the two.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at A&M, all three phases for 95% of the year, special teams are getting returns, block kicks, they're doing their thing, kicking game's awesome. Defense has been lights out. They got really good players all over the place. They've had to go on some stretches. Against Auburn, Texas A&M had to rely on running the ball and playing good defense. They showed that they can do that. And then just Marcel Reed and kind of the Heisman candidate he's been. I like Texas A&M. And when I look at Texas, you're absolutely right, Steele. I think physical pressure gets to Arch, but one thing that's kind of concerning me is I think mental pressure gets to him a little bit too, because you saw, and rightfully so. I mean, we faced a little bit of mental pressure and kind of the spotlight, but nothing like he's faced. I mean, Arch I couldn't even imagine dealing with that. And we saw against Texas, Ohio State, he just didn't look comfortable and kind of looked like he was overthinking. And then he had another big game. I'm blanking on it pretty recently where I felt like the spotlight got to him as well. So
Probably Georgia.
Georgia, exactly right. Georgia, 100%. Felt like the spotlight got to him. So physical pressure definitely throws him off his spot and throws him off his groove, but also mental pressure. And I think this being like Texas, but you never know. I got A&M winning this one, but it is going to be close. It is going to be close. And but I like the Aggies.
I will say for like the mental aspect of Arch, a lot of it is he doesn't want a lot of it. Of course he has the commercials that you see between games that he's playing in. But then you look at ESPN, like last week, they're playing, I believe, Arkansas or something, completely dismantle them, as they should. And then they're going all out posting, oh, look at all these stats that he had, 6 touchdowns, 400 all-purpose yards or something.
It's like they try to draw hate to him.
Yeah, I know. Like, they don't understand. Like, that's going to draw so much hate to the kid. And, of course, he had a good game against a bad team. Good. Like, you should be doing that. But then you get in these big games and then he doesn't perform sometimes. People are just going to say, oh, you post everything whenever he's on top of the world. And then as soon as shit matters, he just shits the bed. And it's not all his fault because he didn't ask for the last name. He got it. And I know he's doing everything he can to play up to that standard, but it's just such a hard situation. And of course, we don't understand it. Our dads aren't the fucking Mannings.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
exactly.
Know,
it does feel like, to Arch's credit, he's handled it really well. He does seem like a phenomenal guy. And he has been developing. I can't wait to see him come back next year and see what he does next year. So I mean, and when he's on, he's a good player. Like when he's at it,
Yeah, after Ohio State, I mean, he got so much fucking shit after that. And
Yeah,
right now, they're 8-3. They have a chance to go 9-3. And I mean, if they can, they at least have somewhat of an argument to get in the playoffs.
yeah. And you're
So
sitting at 16. You beat the
yeah,
number 3 team in the country. It's going to be right there.
yeah. So I don't
So
know.
we'll
It's
see.
it's going to be a good game, but yeah, both of us, I believe, have Texas A&M. Freaking gig 'em.
Okay, yep. All right, Steele, real quick. We don't even have to get into this one. Just Friday night, Arizona against Arizona State. It is a top 25 game. 1.5 point favorite is Arizona. Steele, just tell me who you think's going to win.
Magical powers of the Sun Devil. If you know, you
Okay.
know.
All right, I'm going. I can't get behind the Sun Devil, so I'm going with Arizona. We'll split on that. Okay. Now we're moving into some good Saturday football here. And the
Mhm.
first game we're going to talk about is one of the all-time greatest ones. There's Ohio State and up north, and then this one is the only game I can really respect as people making an argument for maybe it's a little bit bigger. I don't think it is, but the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Alabama against Auburn. Alabama opening up a 6-point favorites. So a pretty tight line there. It's at Auburn. It's a night game. What do you think with this one?
So by chance, do you know why it's called the Iron Bowl?
Steel
I learned
Chambers.
this. I learned this about a week ago.
Steel Chambers. I don't know why it's called the Iron Bowl, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
So back in the day, this game originally was played on Legion Field over in Birmingham, Alabama. Birmingham was a huge producer of iron and steel back in the 1800s, I believe. So that's why it was nicknamed the Iron Bowl, just because it was in that city and that's what they produced all the time. And then, of course, it started going to Tuscaloosa and then Jordan Hare Stadium, everything like that. So that's where it originated.
Oh, that's interesting.
And this game's been it's old as ever. I think it started like in 1893. There's just so much history that goes behind it. You've got the kick six. Personally, the wildest moment of my football career that I didn't actually play in. I've never seen anything like that as a football fan. I mean, there's just so much that goes into this game, and now it's just kind of amplified given the situation Alabama's in now. Because
Mm-hmm.
Auburn can be the ultimate spoilers right now, and given this kind of new energy they have right now with
Durkin.
Ashton Daniels, I
Yeah, and their
believe.
coach Durkin. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a shot they could just be some dicks and keep Tuscaloosa out of the freaking playoffs, and I would love to see that, honestly.
Listen, I do want to bring something up. First of all, thanks for another history lesson. You've been on fire with those. I do want to ask you if you're concerned about Ty Simpson. Struggled a little bit against Oklahoma with pressure, and then we saw against Eastern Illinois. I mean, they beat him like 50 on the that bye week for the SEC. He threw 2 picks still.
Mm-hmm.
So last couple games, had a phenomenal season. He's a phenomenal player. But are you a little concerned? And this is his first time playing in that game as well. What do you think about Ty Simpson?
It's one of those things where teams are starting to catch up to their game plan because they don't have a run game right now, and they aren't
Yeah.
really trying to develop it anymore. I mean, they're rotating backs a lot more. They just don't have a guy that's going out there and giving you 100-yard games. And as a defensive coordinator, you see that it's kind of like blood in the water. Okay, they're going to rely on their pass game. Let's look at the tape. Let's look at where he struggled because they're showing 50 passes a game. So you're going to see 20, 25 reps where maybe Ty Simpson was making the wrong read because they're getting a certain coverage, or maybe the pass
Yeah.
protection was a little off. They slid the wrong way. So you're
Yeah.
just getting so much more material to work off of, and you're seeing these teams start to develop better game plans and stuff. And that's what's been happening.
Well, and that's going to be a big problem because we brought this up a couple weeks ago. Auburn is one of the best defenses in the country. They're one of the only teams who've given up less than 24 points. Now I don't know if that still rings true, but back when we looked into it, and it wasn't like 3 weeks ago, they were one of the few teams to give up 24 or less points in every single game. So this defense is a legit defense, and the offense has come along. I'm going War Eagle on this one. The fact that it's at Auburn. I feel like Auburn, you remember they almost upset them a couple years ago when Milroe was the quarterback at like 4th and 23 to Bond, which was
Back in the
unbelievable.
end zone. Yeah.
Back in the end zone. This is another game. It doesn't matter. This is like setting up as it doesn't matter. 5-6, Auburn. I like War Eagle. Give me War Eagle on this.
I mean, it's a rivalry. They're playing for a bowl game too, so
Yeah,
that's something a little extra to play for. And then, of course, I imagine they hate each other. So
yeah.
just there's that pride aspect of it. So
Yes.
I mean, I want to go War Eagle. I really do.
Come
But
on.
Bama's gonna pull off some shit. Auburn can never finish the drill. They can't. Maybe with this new offense they can, but I'm gonna stick with Alabama. I think it's gonna be a nail biter, but I'm gonna stick with the Tide.
It's definitely going to be a nail biter. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Okay, Steele. Moving on. Let's bounce to. We'll stay in the SEC. We got Vanderbilt and Tennessee.
Mm.
I'm seeing it's going to be cold, 43 degrees. I'm seeing Tennessee's 3-point favorites. Uh, I'm going to go ahead and go with. You start this off. I got to hear what you got to say.
Well, I'm gonna
Tennessee.
start off by saying I'm fucking going for Diego here
Oh my. Okay, real
because I
quick.
know it
Let's go
pisses
off
you
on
off.
a sidebar. Let's go off on a sidebar here.
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't want to get into it. Keep
No,
going.
no, no, no. It's already a sidebar. We've started. Go.
Have you been seeing Theo Vaughn messing around with Pavia's mom?
Yeah, pretty sure they went on a date like a few months ago.
Dude, they're like dating, I'm pretty sure. Like dating.
Yeah. It's Theo Vaughn, dude. Nothing's out of the realm of what he can do.
Man, if I was Pavia, I'd be mad as hell.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they had like a bet for it. And it's
I know.
Pavia.
I mean,
He's
I
got a
just
screw loose, dude. He doesn't give a shit.
which is another reason why I'm like, I can't rock with this guy. I can't rock with this guy. But listen, you never know. I mean, he just threw for like 430 or 440 against Kentucky. I mean, he's playing well. He's playing well. I still don't think he's a Heisman finalist like they're trying to make him out to be. But listen, if he goes and lights up Tennessee, I'll put him in there. But all I'm going to say is give me the Volunteers. Give me the Volunteers.
It's going to be – there might be 100 points put on the board at the end of this. Pavia's been on one, and the Vols defense has not been very good. Joey Aguilar's been doing his thing. They're just now getting the ground game going with Bishop. Ole Miss, I mean, God, Vanderbilt's probably going to struggle with that. I think it's going to be one of those things where it's kind of the grittiest guy wins, and I'm going to give it to Diego Pavia. And he's going to at least give Vanderbilt somewhat of an argument to be in the playoffs. 10-2 in the SEC. They're going to have some solid wins on their resume. I want them to at least be maybe on the outside looking in, having known that they had a shot at getting in. They probably won't, given the way the committee's been ranking them, but give Vanderbilt a shot, man. This is a fun year for him.
Okay. All right. You want me to hop on the Vandy wagon?
No, stay over there. You can't come over here.
I was going to hop on that shit anyway.
Good.
All right.
I want you over here.
You got Vandy. Okay.
Pussy.
That was so uncalled for. Okay, this is my upset of the week. This is my upset of the week.
Don't steal mine.
What is yours?
Quack quack.
Quack, dude, quack quack.
Really?
Quack.
That's your upset of the week?
That's my upset of the week. I think they're for
Yeah.
sure losing.
Not for sure, but they're on upset alert for me, especially after the win last week.
So for those who didn't get the hint, quack quack. We got Oregon Ducks, number 6 team in the country, coming off a really good win against USC, but emotional, and they didn't look. I mean, they looked good, but they didn't look great in my opinion. There was some sloppy football going on. Going against Washington, which I know Jeb Fish, I know Taylor Mays, I know some of those coaches over there, and I played at Oregon, I played at Washington, and Washington's not an easy place to play. And these two teams still actually hate each other. I know that for a fact. So I like the Huskies. Maverick, we gotta go for the Huskies, right?
Yo, fucking yeah, we're going for the goddamn Huskies. I love my buddy Maverick.
We gotta go for the Huskies, man. I think you should put Maverick in a contest to be like their next mascot or something.
No, not on that West. No, Maverick's not on that West Coast shit. He's not doing that nonsense. But yeah, this has upset written all over it. Coming off a big win last week against USC, Washington, they just haven't been getting any love basically since that Ohio State game where they got annihilated.
Yeah.
But they've got weapons. They've got Williams Jr. They've got Coleman in the backfield. Anything can happen whenever you've got athletes in spots that can hurt you. So I don't know. Oregon showed Oregon showed a couple instances of giving up big plays, but of course that was against a USC offense, which is far way superior than Washington. But
Yeah.
it's going to be at Washington. It's going to be a crazy environment. Anything can happen in November. Let's go with the Huskies. Why not?
We're both on the Huskies. Now, Steele, I just want to hit this one quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this. We got 3
Mm.
games left. Let's get this one out of the way. LSU on the road against Oklahoma. Oklahoma 10-point favorites. Steele, just tell me who you think's winning real quick, why, and are they covering?
I'm gonna go with Oklahoma. I was in Louisiana last week against whenever they were playing Western Kentucky. LSU was, and my
It's
God,
like 14-10, right?
dude, yeah, dude, that house was fucking unreal. I mean, my uncle Kirk, of course, Granny. I was gonna send you some videos, but I just want to sit back and bask in the moment. My God,
Was she
I can't
losing
tell
her
you.
mind?
Yeah, let me just tell you this: she really kept it PG for you, likely just out of respect. But
Yeah.
whenever she's just saying whatever she wants is pure unadulterated filth. I mean, it's bad,
Oh,
and I
God.
loved every second of it. But I got Oklahoma, LSU trying to jumpstart that offense with a new QB. Didn't really look all that good against Western Kentucky of all teams. I
Yeah.
think this Oklahoma defense is just unreal right now. John Mateer's figuring it out a little bit, still not fully, but give me the
Okay.
Sooners. They're gonna win this one.
Yeah, give me the Sooners, man. I think Mateer slowly in that offense is coming along, but it is coming along, and I just love Oklahoma defense as I know you do. So give me the Sooners. Okay, now the last 2 games. The first one we're going to dive into. This is a big game, a really really big game, and I'm talking about Miami on the road. It's going to be 30 degrees at Pitt. Miami 7-point favorites. Still, ever since Narduzzi made those comments about the Notre Dame game, I just hate this Pitt football team, and it really pissed me off. I just hate him, dude, and it pissed me off seeing him that he's like actually kind of right because they get beat by Notre Dame, they go out and they beat the shit out of Georgia Tech, and I cannot take them winning. I got Carson Beck. He's got to show up. Ruben Bain's got to show up. When Miami shows up, they are a very, very good football team, but they don't always show up. I want to see Miami back in the spotlight. Give me the Hurricanes. It's covering that spread too.
After sitting back and thinking about it a little bit, I think it's just one of his weird ways of trying to fire up his team in a new way. So I'm not gonna focus on that too much. I think he said the wrong shit, but
Yeah,
whatever. Do whatever you want. It's your code. It's your team. But this is just one of the many puzzle pieces in the fucking multiverse of madness that is the ACC this year. There's so many different ways that both of these teams can get in. It's too much to even really keep track of, but I really hope Pitt wins this game. I do not trust Carson Beck to go into a big stage, most likely like
yeah, I'm
an
listening.
Ole Miss or some kind of environment like that and play a good game. He has not shown that this entire year. I'm off the Carson Beck train. I don't want to see that. But you look at this Miami team, and they're obviously a playoff team, but they just can't perform whenever the lights are on them. So I want the Pitt Panthers to win this.
Yeah,
I guess at this point, I just want Mitchell to get in the playoffs. That's the only reason why I want Pitt
yeah,
to win, and then of course Virginia to win, and then they're in.
yeah. So if Pitt wins and Virginia wins, Virginia plays Pitt. Hopefully, Virginia wins that, and Virginia's getting in the playoffs.
So if Miami wins, they would need, I believe, Virginia to lose, and
They
then
would need
a
Virginia
multitude
to
of other
lose.
stuff.
Yeah, they need Virginia to lose, and they would need SMU to lose. Because I'm looking at the ACC standings. It's Virginia, it's Pitt, it's SMU, Georgia Tech, and Miami. So if Miami beats Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's done. They jump Pittsburgh. If Virginia loses to Virginia Tech, they jump Virginia, and they're still behind Georgia Tech and SMU. And Georgia Tech's already done with ACC play.
I could have sworn that there's a situation I thought where,
There probably is. I
yeah,
don't really.
dude, there's so many fucking shit. Either way, now let's say they don't get in, but they still beat Pitt pretty handily. Then there's a conversation where, okay, most likely you're going to have to compete with a BYU, Alabama, or Notre Dame for that one of those last spots.
Yeah.
If they can win this game by a lot, then maybe some people will look at the head-to-head, even though it doesn't matter really much anymore. They're two completely different teams. You can look at that. You can look at a common opponent in Pitt where Notre Dame beat them pretty handily. If Miami can beat them pretty handily, then that can kind of be somewhat of a measuring stick between the two. And then at that point, maybe they have a shot to get in at an at large bid. But I don't know. ACC's fucking chaos right now.
It is chaos. You do bring a good point though, because the head-to-head is going to be from so far ago that they're going to be focusing on how Miami does against Pitt, especially at
Head-to-heads matter, but sometimes if you put both
that's
those teams
super.
on the field right now, which team would win? I would pick Notre Dame. You also have to take that
I
into
put
consideration.
the house on their name. Okay, Steele. This is the last one. This is the last one. And it's kind of sad because if you think about it, we got this game, then we get their championship games next week, get some bowl games here and there, but we're not getting this. This is the last time we're getting something like this. So we got USC, UCLA. You just learned all about the crosstown battle. It's at USC. I'm going to go first. Over under 59.5, USC 21.5 point favorites. UCLA is covering the spread. UCLA is going to cover the spread.
UCLA is winning this game, man.
UCLA is going to cover the spread. It's going to be very close. And if there is a game that USC can fuck up, this would be right on cue, right on brand for them to fuck this up, to be honest. But hopefully they don't, because I know how it gets. At USC, when we lose a couple games, shit goes from here to here, a little slip up, the next thing you know is fucking the whole culture is falling off the fucking face of the earth. So hopefully Coach Riley keeps things tight, keeps the ship tight, keeps all those boys on board. And if they come out and win the game, I'll be very happy, very proud, because I know how things have been in the past when we've kind of lost a game like that. So I am concerned, very, very concerned about this one. But when you look at it on paper, if both teams show up ready to play, USC at home should dominate this one.
You've really tried this year to get me to see the light that is USC, and I have not seen it. It's darkness whenever I look out there, but you somewhat come from there. You introduced me to Kyle Ford earlier today. He's a hell of a guy, so maybe there is a little bit of light. But I'm going to choose to be hateful, and there's no light there. You guys are going to lose this game. UCLA is going to stomp all over you with the victory bell. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be so ugly for you guys, and the year's going to come crashing down to a disgusting halt. You're going to go into the bowl game. You're going to lose the bowl game. You're going to go into the offseason, going to have no idea what the fuck to do, and then USC is going to be on the path downhill. That's what I think is going to happen.
See, I will say this game is very, very important. You win this, you're 9-3. You win the bowl game 10-3, and you build off that. You lose this 8-4, and you slip up in a bowl game, you're 8-5. That's a shitty year. That goes from an acceptable good year to a shitty year, and that would be really, really bad. So this is a very important game. But give me the Trojans, but UCLA is going to cover that 21.5.
No. The only saving grace you guys might have is if Reggie Bush decides to freaking lace them up again and step on the field.
All right, Dan Lanning. I see how it is. Okay. All right. That wraps it up for Rivalry Week.
There you go.
Steele, you got anything else?
No, man. I'm about to go eat a whole shit ton of food at the auntie's house.
There you go. All right. I'm ending this.
All right.